of our appreciation. A warm round of applause, please.
जी वो सर आप लोग से बात से कर सकते हैं आप करेंगे ना सर ये तो लिंक चल रहा है ना लिंक का तो नहीं होता है अभी वो नहीं डालो फिर ज्वाइन करना है जैसे नहीं चल रही है ऐसी आगे के
To express our sincere gratitude for his visionary leadership and continued support, I invite Dr. Tarkeshwar Prasad Shukla sir, Principal, SCPM College of Pharmacy, to kindly come forward and present a token of our respect and appreciation to Dr. O.N. Pandey sir, Chairman, SCPM Group of Hospital and Education, Gonda. Please join me in giving him a warm round of applause.
Thank you, sir. As a mark of our gratitude and respect, I request Dr. Simple Chauhan, ma'am, Principal, SCPM Ayurvedic Medical College and Hospital, Gonda, to kindly honor Srimati Alka Pandey, ma'am, President, SCPM Group of Hospital and Education, by presenting a token of our appreciation. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome her with a gracious round of applause.
Thank you, ma'am. May I now request Dr. Praveen Kumar sir to kindly come forward and present a token of our respect and heartfelt welcome to Mr. Ajitab Dubey sir, Director, SCPM Group of Hospital and Education, Gunda. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome him with a big round of applause.
Thank you, sir. A big round of applause, please. To extend our heartfelt welcome, I would like to invite Dr. Rukumkes Verma sir to kindly come forward and present a token of our respect and appreciation to Mr. Dheeraj Kumar Dubey sir, Administrator SCPM Group of Hospital and Education, Gonda. Ladies and gentlemen, may we all welcome him with a warm round of applause.
Thank you, sir. As a mark of our gratitude and respect, I request Mr. Pankaj Kumar Patel, sir, to kindly honor Professor Dr. Tarkeshwar Prasad Shukla, sir, Principal, SCPM College of Pharmacy, by presenting a token of our appreciation. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming him with a gracious round of applause.
Thank you, sir. May I invite Dr. Simple Chauhan, Principal, SCPM Ayurvedic Medical College and Hospital, Gonda, on the stage, and I request Mrs. Surbhi Dwivedi ma'am to kindly present a token of our appreciation. A warm round of applause, please. May I invite Dr. Javed Akhtar sir, Principal, Hatipullah Chaudhary College of Pharmacy, Gonda, on the stage. I request Mr. Sarfraz Ahmed sir to present a token of our appreciation. A warm round of applause, please.
Thank you, sir. Hello. Thank you to our respected dignitaries for inaugurating this conference with your inspiring presence.
We shall now move to the opening session and formally begin the academic proceedings of ICONSCPM 2026.
It now gives us immense pleasure to invite our respected principal, SCPM College of Pharmacy, and convener of this conference, Dr. Tarkeshwar Prasad Shukla, sir, to deliver the inaugural address and formally declare the international conference ICON SCPM 2026. Sir, under your academic leadership, our institution has continued to promote quality education, research, and professional ethics.
Our chronic disease management.
Hospital and Education, Dr. O.N. Pandey sir, respected President, ICPM Group, Mrs. Alka Pandey ma'am, our today's respected keynote speakers, the resource person, Professor Dr. Sanjay Tiwari sir, and respected Dr. Saban Naqvi ma'am. They have joined as a resource person from Nagpur Library along with us. Apart from that, Dr. Ayush Pandey sir, the Managing Director, ICONSCPM Group of Hospital and Education, Mrs. Dr. Ruksha Pandey ma'am, Dr. Ayush Pandey ma'am, Managing Director, ICONSCPM Group of Hospital and Education, Shri Ajitab Dubey sir, Director, ICONSCPM Group of Hospital and Education, respected Administrator sir, ICONSCPM Group of Hospital and Education, principals and HODs of various departments of ICONSCPM Group of Hospital and Education, and principals and HODs of several other colleges, those who have joined today's international conference along with us, who are present here and who are on the way, they are about to reach to the conference. So, apart from that, the organizing committee members, supporting members, registered faculty, researchers, and other colleges and our colleges, student delegates, a very warm welcome to all of you. So we are delighted to host the delegates, speakers, and participants from across the nation and beyond that. So this conference aims to provide a platform for learning, innovation, and collaboration. We encourage each of you to participate actively, connect with the peers, and gain valuable perspective from this conference. In today's conference, you will have the chance to attend engaging sessions and thought-provoking discussions. Let's make the most of the opportunity to expand our knowledge and create meaningful connections. So today, with the inaugural function of this conference, I announce a one-day international conference on self-healing nanocarriers for chronic disease management is open. Thank you for being with us. Wishing everyone a successful and inspiring conference. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your inspiring and thought-provoking inaugural address. Your encouraging words have set the perfect tone for this international conference and motivated us all to pursue excellence in research, innovation, and collaborative learning. Let us give our respected principal, sir, a warm round of applause, please.
Moving forward, now to introduce our distinguished speakers, I would like to invite our organizing secretary, Mr. Sarfaraz Ahmed sir, to kindly come forward and take over the proceedings.
Respected Chief Patron Dr. O.N. Pandey sir, Chairman, SCPM Group of Hospital and Education. And Dr. IOC Pandey ma'am, Managing Directors, SCPM Group of Hospital and Education Gunda, respected patrons, Mr. Ajitab Dubey sir, Director, SCPM Group of Hospital and Education Gunda, and Mr. Dheeraj Kumar Dubey sir, Administrator, SCPM Group of Hospital and Education Gunda, respected Principal and Convener, Professor Dr. Tarkeshwar Prasad Shukla sir, our respected resource persons, respected faculty members, distinguished delegates, researchers, students, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all. It is my great honor and privilege to welcome you all to ICONSCPM 2026, the International Conference on Self-Healing Nanocarrier for Chronic Disease Management, organized by SCPM College of Pharmacy, Gonda. On behalf of the organizing committee, I warmly welcome all our respected, eminent, invited speakers, delegates, researchers, faculty members, industry professionals, and students. Your presence has made this conference truly special, and we are grateful that you have joined us today. This conference has been organized with the aim of bringing together experts, teachers, researchers, healthcare professionals, and students on one platform to share knowledge, exchange ideas, and discuss the latest developments in the pharmaceutical sciences. The theme of today's conference is self-healing nanocarrier for chronic disease management. Self-healing nanocarrier are modern drug delivery system that can deliver medicine more effectively to the required site in the body. They have potential to improve treatment, reduce side effects, and increase patient safety. We believe that research in this field will play an important role in the future of healthcare system. Today's conference has been carefully planned to provide a valuable learning experience for everyone. During the day, we will have expert lectures by renowned national and international speakers, scientific discussion, poster presentations, poster evaluation, and opportunities for interaction and networking. The conference will conclude with valedictory session, where certificate and award will be presented. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our respected management of SCPM Group of Hospital and Education, our principal and convener, all resource persons, and advisory board members, committee members, faculty members, volunteers, and every participant whose dedication and support have made this conference possible. I also thank all the delegates and participants who have traveled from different institutions to be with us today. I hope you will gain new knowledge, build professional connections, and take home wonderful memories from this conference. Once again, I extend my heartfelt welcome to you, each one of you. I wish you all a successful, informative, and enjoyable conference. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Jai Hind. Thank you, sir, for your gracious words of welcome and for reminding us of the importance of collaboration, scientific inquiry, and institutional commitments. Your inspiring message has set the perfect tone for the conference.
May I now respectfully invite Mr. Ajitat Dubey, sir, Director, SCPM Group of Hospital and Education, Gonda, to deliver his address. Sir, your commitment to academic excellence and institutional development continues to inspire both faculty and students. We request you to kindly address the gathering.
अब सबको मेरा प्रणाम। मैं अजिताभ दुबे संस्थान में कर्मचारी की भूमिका में हूँ। आज इस इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस में यहाँ उपस्थित हमारे बीच में हमारे संस्थान के अध्यक्षगण एवं प्रबंधक महोदय और हमारे बाहर से आए हुए आगंतुक, उन सबका मैं स्वागत एवं अभिनंदन करता हूँ। आज इस महत्वपूर्ण कॉन्फ्रेंस में आप सभी के बीच उपस्थित होकर मुझे अत्यंत प्रसन्नता हो रही है। ऐसे आयोजन केवल विचारों के आदान प्रदान का माध्यम नहीं होते हैं, बल्कि समाज और राष्ट्र के भविष्य की दिशा तय करने का अवसर भी प्रदान करते हैं। आज के बदले दौर में शिक्षा का उद्देश्य केवल डिग्री प्राप्त करना नहीं है, बल्कि ज्ञान, संस्कार, अनुशासन और जिम्मेदारी के साथ एक बेहतर समाज का निर्माण करना है। हमारे युवा देश की सबसे बड़ी शक्ति है। यदि उन्हें सही शिक्षा, सही मार्गदर्शन और सही अवसर मिले तो वो भारत की नई ऊंचाइयों तक ले जा सकते हैं। हमें तकनीकी और आधुनिक शिक्षा के साथ साथ मानवीय मूल्यों, नैतिकता, सामाजिक जिम्मेदारी को भी महत्व देना चाहिए। शिक्षा वही साधक है जो व्यक्ति को अपने विकास के साथ समाज और राष्ट्र के विकास में योगदान देने के लिए प्रेरित करे। मैं इस शानदार आयोजन के लिए आयोजकों को हार्दिक बधाई देता हूं और आशा करता हूं कि ऐसे कार्यक्रम दोबारा वो समय समय पे करते रहेंगे। देखिए, महत्वपूर्ण ये है कि मैं यहाँ पर एक कॉन्फ्रेंस अटेंड करता हूं और घर चले जाता हूं। ये महत्वपूर्ण नहीं है। महत्वपूर्ण ये बनता है कि हम उससे कितना अर्जन करते हैं और समाज को अपनी नैतिकता और अपनी जिम्मेदारियों के साथ कितना वापस करते हैं। विषय ये, आज ये राष्ट्र, आप अभी देख ही रहे होंगे कि देश की क्या परिस्थिति है। भटका हुआ युवा कुछ चंद सोशल मीडिया के माध्यम से हुई घटनाओं के क्रम में एक बहुत बड़ा इस देश में बवंडर मचा देता है। बहुत पहले एक कहावत होती थी कि छात्र शक्ति राष्ट्र शक्ति। हम ये भूल गए हैं कि हम अपने कर्तव्यों और नैतिक मूल्यों को किस तरीके से किस दिशा में लेके जा रहे हैं। ये बहुत आवश्यक है कि हम अपने नैतिक कर्तव्यों को ये ध्यान रखें कि हम उसको सही दिशा में लगाएं और सही कार्यों के प्रति उसका प्रयोग करें। इसी क्रम में आज यहाँ पर आए हुए हमारे संस्थान में तमाम विद्यालयों से अध्यापकगण और छात्रगण उपस्थित हुए हैं। मैं आशा करता हूं कि ये कॉन्फ्रेंस आपको एक महत्वपूर्ण मील का पत्थर साबित होगी और इसी के साथ आप सबको शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। और मैं अभी एक जोरदार नारे के लिए आपसे आग्रह करूंगा, और जब इसका मैं आग्रह करूं तो आपके दोनों हाथ आकाश की तरफ होने चाहिए। बोले भारत माता की, भारत माता की, वंदे वंदे, बोले ओम नमः पार्वती।
Your words have reinforced the importance of innovation, discipline, and lifelong learning. Thank you so much, sir.
With great respect and immense pleasure, may I now request Mrs. Alka Pandey ma'am, SCPM Group, President, SCPM Group of Hospital and Education, Gonda, to kindly share her motivational thoughts with us. Please welcome ma'am with a big round of applause.
सबसे पहले तो मैं SCPM परिवार की तरफ से हमारे जो बाहर से आए हुए गेस्ट हैं उनको बहुत बहुत वेलकम करूंगी कि आप हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को बहुत अच्छी अच्छी चीजें आज सिखाने वाले हैं। और उसी के साथ मैं आपके चेयरमैन सर को भी धन्यवाद दूंगी कि इतना अच्छा उन्होंने प्लेटफॉर्म क्रिएट किया है जिसपे हम सारे लोग वर्कआउट कर सकते, उनको भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और हमारे बाहर से आए हुए प्रिंसिपल, फैकल्टी मेंबर्स, HOD और प्यारे बच्चों, आप सबको बहुत बहुत वेलकम SCPM परिवार की तरफ से कि आप आए और इस कॉन्फ्रेंस के लिए बहुत कुछ सीखने का मौका आपको मिलेगा, क्योंकि यहाँ पे ऐसे ऐसे फैकल्टीज, ऐसे ऐसे सारे एक कॉन्फ्रेंस के थ्रू इकट्ठे हुए हैं जो आपको बहुत सारी जानकारी देंगे। क्योंकि आज का टॉपिक आपके पास बहुत अच्छा है, सेल्फ हीलिंग नैनो, है ना। तो इसमें आपको बहुत सारी चीजें सीखने को मिलेंगी और जानकारी होगी। इसमें आपको सेल्फ डेवलपमेंट, है ना। तो सेल्फ डेवलपमेंट प्यारे बच्चों कैसे करेंगे? अपनी खुशियों को अपने पास रखेंगे, अपने आप को इतना प्रेसफुल फील करेंगे कि आप खुद एक अच्छे नागरिक की तरह इस समाज में अच्छा काम करेंगे। इसके लिए आपको खुद सेल्फ में खुद ही को इतना बुलंद करना है कि खुदा भी आके पूछे बता तेरी गजा क्या है। है ना। इतने में ही देखिए सबके स्माइल कितने अच्छे लग रहे हैं, प्यारे प्यारे चेहरे कितने सुंदर लग रहे हैं आपको देख के, और आपके मन की खुशी को देख के वही आपको अच्छी अच्छी जानकारी और अच्छी अच्छी चीजों के साथ आपको समाज में प्रेजेंट करने का एक मौका देती है। और इसी के साथ मैं अपने वाणी को विराम दूंगी, इसलिए कि आपके पास पूरा दिन है, एक ही का दिन है अच्छे अच्छे लोगों से मिलने के लिए। अच्छे अच्छे स्टूडेंट आए हुए हैं बाहर के कॉलेजों से, एक दूसरे से इंटरेक्ट होने का। तो इसमें मैं ज्यादा समय नहीं लूंगी, क्योंकि आपके पास बहुत सारे वक्ता हैं, आप उनको सुने और अच्छी जानकारी लेके जाएं। आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, madam, for your inspiring address. Your encouraging words have truly motivated us all and set a positive tone for the rest of the conference. A warm round of applause, please. May I invite Dr. Mandeep Singh, sir, Vice Principal, SCPM College of Allied and Healthcare, Gonda, on the stage, and I request Mrs. Yasmin Banu, ma'am, to present a token of our appreciation. A warm round of applause, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Now, it's my great privilege and honor to invite our Honorable Chairman, SCPM Group of Hospital and Education, Dr. O.M. Pandey, sir, to deliver his inspiring address. Sir's visionary leadership, unwavering support, and commitment to excellence continue to guide our institution towards greater heights. We are truly honored by your gracious presence. May I kindly request our Honorable Chairman, sir, to address the gathering. A big round of applause.
ICONSCPM 25 को जो आज ऑर्गेनाइज किया जा रहा है, इसके उपलक्ष्य में यहाँ पर डायस पर उपस्थित हमारे सभी डिग्निटरीज, विभिन्न कॉलेजों के आए हुए प्रिंसिपल्स, रिसर्चर्स, स्टूडेंट्स एंड फैकल्टी मेंबर्स, इसके अलावा उपस्थित यहाँ हमारे कॉलेज के सारे बच्चे, टीचर्स, प्रिंसिपल और सभी अन्य लोगों का मैं हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूँ। आप सभी जानते हैं कि कॉन्फ्रेंस का उद्देश्य क्या होता है। कॉन्फ्रेंस का उद्देश्य है कि आप आए, लोगों से इंटरेक्ट करें और आप कहाँ हैं और दुनिया क्या कर रही है इसके बारे में आप जानें और अपने आप को अपडेट करें और नई नई चीजों की तरफ जो रिसर्च है उस पे तरफ जाएं और अपने आप को अपडेट कर कर समाज के लिए या अपने फील्ड के लिए कुछ नया करने का प्रयास करें। इस तरह के कॉन्फ्रेंसेस रेगुलर तौर पे होने चाहिए। मेरे ख्याल से ये जो कॉन्फ्रेंस ICONSCPM हो रहा है, ये पूर्वांचल में इस तरह का शायद पहली बार इस तरह का कॉन्फ्रेंस हो रहा है और मेरे कॉलेज में इस लेवल का कॉन्फ्रेंस शायद पहली बार हो रहा है। इसके लिए मैं प्रिंसिपल साहब को बधाई देता हूँ और मैं चाहूंगा कि भविष्य में इस तरह की कॉन्फ्रेंसेस का आयोजन करें और इसको और बृहद लेवल पर ले जाएं। मेरी तरफ से जो भी सपोर्ट होगा उनको उपलब्ध रहेगा। आज का टॉपिक जो है वो बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट है और हमारे भविष्य को सुधारने वाला है। हमारा जो बीमारी की जो इस समय परेशानी है उसको सुधारने में बहुत ज्यादा योगदान करने वाला है। जैसा आप सभी जानते हैं कि जब हमारा देश आजाद हुआ था तो हमारे जीवन की जो एक्सपेक्टेंसी थी वो केवल 36 साल की थी। आज अभी जो लेटेस्ट आंकड़े हैं उसके हिसाब से हमारे देश में अब एक औसत आदमी की जो उम्र है वो 71.6 वर्ष हो चुकी है और इस दौरान हमारे जो देश में है वो मेडिकल चिकित्सा काफी एडवांस हुई है। हमने तमाम एक्यूट प्रॉब्लम्स को हैंडल करने का रास्ता ढूंढ लिया है, उनके लिए तमाम सारी व्यवस्थाएं बन गई हैं और अब हमारे लिए एक्यूट जो इन्फेक्शंस है वो खास प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। लेकिन चूंकि अब लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी काफी बढ़ रही है, तो अब जो क्रॉनिक डिजीजेज हैं वो हमारे देश में या पूरी दुनिया में हावी हो रही हैं, क्योंकि जीवन जीने का जो उम्र है वो काफी लंबी होती जा रही है। धीरे धीरे हमारी साइंस इतनी बढ़ रही है कि इसको हम बढ़ाते जा रहे हैं, और जैसे जैसे ये आगे बढ़ती जाएगी वैसे वैसे क्रॉनिक इलनेसेस, हार्ट से रिलेटेड, ब्रेन से रिलेटेड, किडनी से रिलेटेड जो ऑर्गन्स हैं उनसे रिलेटेड क्रॉनिक डिजीजेस का समय आ रहा है जो हमें परेशान कर रही है। ये बहुत चिंता का विषय है कि जब हम 71 साल जीते हैं तो उसमें से औसतन 10.5 साल हम बीमार रहते हैं। ये एक औसत निकाला गया है कि एक आदमी कितने दिनों तक बीमार रहता है, तो उसमें देखा गया है कि औसतन हम 10.5 साल बीमार रहते हैं। ये बहुत लंबा समय है जो एक औसत बीमारी का आता है, और इसका मुख्य कारण जो है वो एक्यूट इलनेसेस नहीं है। इसका मुख्य कारण क्रॉनिक इलनेसेस हैं जो कि हमारे हार्ट से रिलेटेड हैं, हमारे ब्रेन से रिलेटेड है, हमारी किडनी से रिलेटेड है, हमारे बॉडी के जो और ऑर्गन्स हैं, कैंसर है, डायबिटीज है, हाइपरटेंशन है, इस तरह की जो क्रॉनिक बीमारियां हैं जो एक बार शरीर में आती हैं फिर वो जीवन भर साथ में पड़ी रहती हैं, उनसे छुटकारा पाना बड़ा मुश्किल होता है। और आजकल जो भी दवाइयां चल रही हैं, जो कन्वेंशनल ड्रग्स चल रही हैं, उनका जो ट्रीटमेंट का तरीका है वो टारगेटेड नहीं है। वो बॉडी में जाती है फिर हेल्दी सेल्स को भी डैमेज करती है। जैसे कैंसर सेल के लिए हम कोई दवा इस्तेमाल करते हैं तो वो शरीर में जाकर इवनली डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो जाती है, और जो कैंसर सेल है उसके अलावा शरीर के अन्य सेलों को भी नुकसान पहुंचाती हैं। तो जो ये नैनो कैरियर्स हैं, ये इन्हीं चीजों को हटाने का जो तरीका है वो इजाद किया गया है, और इसमें अभी बहुत काम करने की जरूरत है। तमाम सारे नैनो कैरियर्स को डिटेक्ट किया गया है, उनके ऊपर काम चल भी रहा है, और कहीं कहीं उसको हम इस्तेमाल भी कर रहे हैं, उसका कुछ लाभ भी ले रहे हैं। क्योंकि अभी जो ड्रग्स हम देते हैं उनका डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन गड़बड़ है, साइड इफेक्ट ज्यादा है, डोजेज ज्यादा लेनी पड़ती हैं, तो पेशेंट के लिए कन्वीनियंट नहीं रह जाती हैं, और कास्ट तो एक फैक्टर होता ही है, वो इसमें भी होगा और इसमें भी रहता है। तो पेशेंट फ्रेंडली नहीं रह पाती है। पता लगा 4 बार दवा खानी है, 5 बार दवा खानी है, तो वो मरीज बीच में भूल गया, तो उसकी जो परेशानी है उन सब चीजों से बचने का जो तरीका है वो ये नैनो पार्टिकल्स है। ये नैनो पार्टिकल्स क्या है कि टारगेटेड होते हैं, इनको इस तरह से डिजाइन किया जाता है कि ये बीमारी वाली जगह पे जाए और उन्हीं पे काम करें, ताकि हमारे शरीर को और नुकसान ना हो पाए। इनका जो डिलीवरी सिस्टम है वो हम उस तरह से एडजस्ट कर सकते हैं कि पता लगा हफ्ते में 1 बार दवाई खानी पड़ेगी, पता लगा रोज खानी ही नहीं है, तो ये एकदम फ्रेंडली हो जाएगा, पेशेंट फ्रेंडली हो जाएगा, पेशेंट के लिए चीजें आसान हो जाएंगी। तो जो आज का टॉपिक है ये बिल्कुल ज्वलंत टॉपिक है। अभी इस पे बहुत सारा काम होना है, हम दुनिया में भी इस पे तमाम सारे काम हो रहे हैं, लेकिन जो समस्याएं रहती हैं क्या है कि भाई ड्रग्स को लाना तो तमाम सारे चैलेंजेस भी रहते हैं इसके अंदर, कि भाई कास्ट इफेक्टिविटी देखनी है, हमको काम करके इस तरह से लाना है कि ये कास्ट इफेक्टिव रह जाए, डोज जितनी लंबे कम समय में जितना कम दवाई खानी पड़े, जितने कम बार खानी पड़े, इस पे काम किया जाए। इसके अलावा तमाम फंड की जरूरत होती है, तो सरकार को भी इसमें लगना पड़ेगा, तमाम इसमें जो प्राइवेट पार्टनर्स होते हैं उनको लगना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि इसमें रिसर्च में इन्वेस्टमेंट आएगा। तो ये सब सारी चैलेंजेस भी हैं, बट मुझे लगता है कि जो टॉपिक आपने चुना है इसमें आप काफी कुछ सीख कर जाएंगे, और आप इस पे प्रयास करेंगे। आगे जब भी आपको मौका मिलेगा तो आप इस पे और काम करेंगे और कुछ नई नई चीजें लाएंगे, जिससे कि समाज का, मरीज का और देश का और दुनिया के सारे लोगों का भला हो सके। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, sir. Your address has been truly enlightening and motivating. We are sincerely grateful for your valuable presence and guidance. A warm round of applause once again, everyone.
Moving ahead, it is time to unveil the treasure book of ideas and insights of this conference.
Yes, you guessed it right. It is time for the release of our conference souvenir. We request all the dignitaries on the dais to please join hands for the official release of the souvenir. Let the cameras flash and let's hear a thunderous round of applause from the audience. This marks a milestone for our college. Thank you, respected visitors, for unveiling the conference souvenir and book abstract. This publication reflects the collective efforts of researchers and academicians whose work moving forward.
The inaugural ceremony has beautifully set the tone for a day dedicated to scientific excellence, innovation, and meaningful collaboration. We may now begin the scientific proceedings of ICON-SCPM 2026. We invite all participants to actively engage with the keynote lectures and discussions that follow. Ladies and gentlemen, we now arrive at one of the most anticipated segments of today's conference. Our keynote lecture brings together eminent experts whose work continues to shape the future of pharmaceutical sciences.
Research is to see what everybody else sees. Research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought. We request everyone to kindly remain seated and keep mobile phones on silent mode and extend your full attendance to our keynote speaker.
It is my great privilege and honor to introduce our distinguished speaker, Dr. Sanjay Tiwari sir. He is currently serving as Associate Professor of Pharmaceutics at Naipur Raebareli. He completed his postdoctoral research at the Institute of Drug Research, the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, Israel, after earning his PhD and M.Pharm from IIT BHU Varanasi. With nearly 2 decades of experience in the teaching and research, he has made remarkable contributions in nanomedicine, targeted drug delivery, biomaterials, graphene-based nanomaterials, and pharmaceutical formulations. He has received prestigious research grants from Department of Science and Technology, Science and Engineering Research Board, UGC, Department of Atomic Energy Consortium for Scientific Research, Gujarat Council on Science and Technology, and the Government of Gujarat. He has published more than 60 research papers in reputed international journals and has guided numerous PhD and M.Pharm scholars. He is the recipient of several prestigious honors, including the postdoctoral fellowship from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, the Gandhian Young Technological Innovation Award, and the Institute of Technology BHU Publication Award. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a warm and heartfelt welcome to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Sanjay Tiwari sir. A big round of applause, please.
So, is it my lecture? Presentation? So, thank you very much, the anchors, for such a nice introduction. Dr. Sarfaraz for having me here, Dr. Shukla for this invitation. This is to me, when I entered this campus, it gave me a very strong vibe. And when I heard your passion, Dr. Pandey talking about nanoparticles, I could understand that if trustees understand nanoparticles, if trustees understand how formulations work and why is it important to have the formulation, why is it important to have research on formulation, your future is under good hands. He appears to have a very strong vision. So you are under very right hands with Dr. Shukla and then your trustee. group of trustees. I'm here to talk about phase transformable dispersions. I guess in audience we have BPharm students. Can you please raise your hand? BPharm students, MPharm students, MPharm, PhD scholars, PhD scholars. Okay, any faculty member doing PhD in pharmaceutical sciences? None? Okay, okay. So majority of you are BPharm, and how many of you are third year onwards? BPharm third year onwards? Okay. First 2 years? Year 1, year 2? Okay, okay, okay. So these words are quite frightening when you look at these terms: phase, then transformation, and then you talk about the management of ulcerative colitis using some formulation approach to manage ulcerative colitis. This looks frightening. So I'll keep it very simple. Dispersions we understand. We have a very clean difference between solution and dispersion. If anything goes well in water, whenever we talk about a vehicle for pharmaceutical application, for drug delivery application, the vehicle is obviously water. So if you add your drug into water and it dissolves, it forms homogeneous system. This is solution. If it does not dissolve, then it forms a dispersion. This can be suspension. Please switch off your mobile phones. Okay. Those who are not interested, they may leave. Right. Okay. So you add any drug, you add any polymer, it does not dissolve. If it does not dissolve, it is going to form dispersion. So this can be suspension, this can be emulsion, this can be microemulsion, this can be nanoparticle, this can be anything. Right. So anything other than solution forms the dispersion. So what we do in our research is, you have a dispersion, right? And then let us say you play with the solvent properties. Okay, you add some other component, and then if the viscosity of the system changes, okay, then it becomes phase transformable dispersion. There was a phase, and then you have added something, and then it forms a different phase. There was an emulsion, you added some polymer, you added some organic additive, inorganic additive, and then it turned into some gel kind of system, right? So it becomes a phase transformable dispersion. So this is what I'll be talking about. We'll start with binary system. There are just two components. One component is fixed. What is the one component? The first component, that is water. This can be water, this can be buffer, aqueous buffer, right? Now, the second component, it can be polymer, it can be lipid, it can be phospholipid, it can be your drug, it can be anything other than the solvent. So we'll talk about two systems, binary system and primary system. Okay? So you add some more component, and then there are pseudo-ternary systems, binary, ternary, and then pseudo-ternary. So these three kind of systems we'll discuss. We'll not go into much detail of research because you are BPharm students and you'll get bored. So I'll talk about certain basics of colloid science, right? So can we have the next slide, please? So again, association structure. There is a single molecule, right? A macromolecule, a surfactant, an amphiphile. You add in water, they will form association structure always. And we deal with this association structure daily. शैम्पू सब लोग करते होंगे, शैम्पू, सोप, इवन जो नॉन साइंस वाले हैं या जो नॉन फार्मेसी वाले हैं वो भी ये चीजें यूज करते होंगे. जब भी हम whenever you add soap into water, it forms micelles, and then micelles are association structure. Okay, you have a surfactant, you have an amphiphile, you add in water, and it is supposed to form association structure. The reason is it has got two groups. Right? One that forms the head. Head is hydrophilic. This is general convention, and then the tail, longer tail, and the tail is hydrophobic. When you add in water, head loves water, but the tail hates water. So what does it do? The tail has to protect itself from water. So it stays away water, it drives away water. And how does it do so? By forming the association structure. It will form a mycel. So head in this mycel, in this structure, head is oriented outwards. It is engaging with water, whereas the tails are engaging with themselves. And the interior, therefore, the interior becomes hydrophobic exclusively. Right? So you have this surfactant system, you have this surfactant assembly, mycel. Classically, these are spherical core shell structure. Okay? Core, because you have hydrophobic group that forms the core, and then you have the hydrophilic head, it forms the head, and that forms the shell. So you have core shell structure. You add some drug. If the drug is hydrophobic, where does it go? हम साबुन क्यों इस्तेमाल करते हैं? सर्फ एक्सेल क्यों इस्तेमाल करते हैं? क्योंकि it is supposed to remove the dirt. Okay? ग्रीस है, ऑयल है, आपके शर्ट में लगा है, आप क्या करेंगे? स्ट्रॉन्ग सर्फेक्टेंट यूज करेंगे, और वो क्या करता है? उसको माइसराइज करके उसको ट्रैप कर लेता है, एंड देन यू वॉश इट विद वाटर. So these are the very basic thing. We deal with such things every day, right? So these surfactants are of 4 types. What are the types? These can be ionic, these can be. So if you have to make some strong association structure with high solubilization capability, right? Ring Shakti. What kind of surfactant do we need? We need strong surfactant. We need ionic surfactants. Okay? So if you talk about SLS, if you talk about CTAB, you talk about DTAB, right? They will form association structure, but their HLB value is too high, right? So they form very strong assemblies, and they are used to remove dirt. There are oil spills. समुद्र होता है ना कि टैंकर में आग लग गई, पूरा पूरा तेल समुद्र में गिर गया. ओके, अभी उसको आपको उस ऑयल स्पिल को क्लियर करना है. बट so we have our chief guest. He has just arrived, and then we'll have a short break. Okay, and then we'll continue with this. Right. So maybe I'll cover just 4-5 slides. Right. There are B.Pharm students, so they should know what is the science behind this association structure, what are colloids, what are dispersions. So if this message goes well, then I'll feel that I have done my job coming here. Right. Okay, so ionic surfactants we don't use in pharmaceutical application because they are always toxic. CTAB, it is toxic. Okay, so we have our chief guest. I'll hand over to anchors. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to show our respect and appreciation. May I now invite our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Pramod Kumar Patil, the Registrar, Uttar Pradesh Pharmacy Council, Lucknow. Please come on the stage and do the honors and present a token of our respect and appreciation. I would like to invite Dr. Tarkeshwar Prasad Shukla, sir, Principal, SCPM College of Pharmacy, Gonda, to honor him. Everyone, please be seated. A big round of applause, please. Thank you, sir, for giving us your valuable time. May I invite Dr. Keshav Kumar Gupta, sir, Principal, RCC College of Pharmacy, Basti, to kindly come upon the stage, and I request Mrs. Richa Singh ma'am to present a token of our appreciation. A warm round of applause, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. May I now invite Dr. Ashok Kumar Tripathi, sir, Principal, Dr. Sarvesh Kumar Shukla, College of Pharmacy, Bahraich, to kindly come upon the stage. I request Mr. Rahul Kumar Tiwari, sir, to present a token of our appreciation. A warm round of applause, please.
May I invite Mr. Kamal Kumar Pathak, Principal, KDS College of Pharmacy, Bahraich, to kindly come upon the stage, and I request Dr. Sukumar sir to present a token of our appreciation. Warm round of applause, please. May I now request our honorable speaker to kindly resume his speech. A big round of applause, please.
Okay, so
Slide, please.
second one. Yes. Next. Yes. So हम कहाँ थे? Association structure. Okay. So we were talking about anti-surfactants. We don't use anti-surfactant for pharmaceutical preparations. The reason is they are always toxic, and that is the reason we use those surfactants for cosmetic applications. Now coming to the choices that we have. So we go. Please go back. Slide 2. Yes. Please stay there. So we use anti-surfactant, non-anti-surfactants in majority of the cases, or sometimes we can go for empiric structures. Now, whenever you're talking about any surfactant, picking any surfactant, you have a series of non-anti-surfactants. You have twins, you have spans, you have PPGs, you have other stuff, right? So if you have to pick, you look up to certain properties of a surfactant. Obviously, you will go for a surfactant which has got a very low critical micelle concentration. Okay, so that we have to use very small amount of surfactant and then it just forms micelles. Now, when the critical micelle concentration of any surfactant is too low, we have another advantage, and that is it is always resistant to dilution. You go on diluting, nothing happens to it. You imagine about milk. Okay, this is an example of coarse emulsion, right? You go on diluting milk. Do you see phase separation? Have you seen phase separation during dilution of milk. अपने दूध वाले भाई कितना भी पानी मार पिलाएं, but you see the milk always, it is always milk. It can be thin, but it never breaks. Right? Now compare with the emulsion that we make. Okay, liquid paraffin emulsion सबने बनाया होगा फर्स्ट ईयर वालों, dispensing pharmacy में पीछे वाले बात मत करें, otherwise I have to point out. Right? So आपने emulsion बनाया होगा, quart emulsion बनाया होगा, and then when you try to dilute it, it shows phase separation. Right? You keep it for some time and then you see clean phase separation, you see creamy, right? But the nature has prepared milk and then we just dilute. You can use any volume of water and then nothing happens to it. Okay? So this is the beauty with a surfactant that has got a very low CNC. You go on diluting and nothing happens to it. It remains kinetically stable. Then you see the aggregation number. Right? You pick a surfactant which forms mycel, which forms association structure with 4-5 assemblies. There are just 4 or 5 participants, unimers, and then they form the overall mycel. So you pick such surfactant. Then whenever you are talking about stabilization, we use surfactant for sometimes for stabilization, right? So there you pick a surfactant which offers you enough of the coverage. You have to stabilize nanoparticle, right? There is 100 nanometer nanoparticle, and you want few surfactant molecules to stabilize it. So it has to have a head, and then the tail should be such that it covers the entire 100 nanometer. The perimeter will always be different. So it has to have that level of coverage. Then you look up to its interfacial properties. What is the overall dynamics at the interface? There is oil, there is water, you add surfactant, okay? Tail faces the oil, head faces water, right? And then it starts solubilizing. So you look up to the interfacial dynamics. What happens when you add more of the oil? What happens when you add more of your water? What happens when you add drug? That will also have interfacial property. It will change, right? So these are the properties that you look up to whenever you are forming any surfactant-based system. Then I'll talk about critical packing parameter. Whenever it comes to surfactant, there are 2 parameters that you need to bother about. One is HLB. You make your decision based on hydrophilic balance, HLB, or you pick the surfactant based on critical packing parameter. If you have in your mind certain morphology, okay? If in general we believe that you add surfactant and the structure that forms, the mycel that forms is spherical, core-shaped structure. But if you want to have structure other than spherical, maybe rod-shaped, maybe elongated one, maybe ellipsoid, then you should be explaining the property of the surfactant in terms of its critical packing parameter. That will come later. Next slide, please. Yes. So this is what I said in the very beginning. You have surfactant, you add water, and what morphology comes to your mind? Spherical portion structure, the first one. Mycel, spherical portion mycel. Now you have added the surfactant in water. This is what is resulted, mycel. You add oil. You add the same surfactant in oil. Now the external phase, the property of the external phase has changed. So what is going to happen? Now the exterior is hydrophobic, right? So you will have mycel formed, but these mycels will be inverse. The second one, sometimes you add incorporate some salt. Okay, the salts can have dehydrating effect. Salt can have restructuring effect. Okay, salts affect water. So you can manipulate the morphology by adding salt. You add sugar. जब भी हमें डिहाइड्रेशन होता है तो डॉक्टर आपको इलेक्ट्रॉल रेकमेंड करते हैं. कभी आपको ये नहीं कहते जो घरों में प्रैक्टिस है कि शुगर है उसमें सॉल्ट डाल के पी लो. दिस इज नेवर एडवाइस बिकॉज शुगर हैज डिहाइड्रेटिंग इफेक्ट. आप पहले से डिहाइड्रेटेड हो और अगर आप शुगर ये शरबत पीते हो, this is going to trigger further dehydration. So you should prefer electrol. So sugar, salts, they appear simple, their structure appears very simple, but they can have very depleting effect on the such assemblies. So ellipsoidal mycel. Then now you have the spherical structure, portion structure. at certain condition, certain temperature, it starts growing in one dimension, in this dimension. So you get, elongated kind of structure. Lamella. You add phospholipid in water. पानी में सिर्फ आपको phospholipid डालना है. Okay, the structure that emerges will always be lamella. They will first form lamella, and then again at a certain condition they form enclosed structure, and that is what our cell membrane is. Then sometimes these worm-like muscles, they start assembling, and they assemble in the form of hexagonal phases. So putting it simple, you add surfactant in water, classically you have spherical porcine mycel formed. Sometimes you can tailor the condition to form other kind of structure. Now the question is, why should we bother about other structures other than mycels and reverse mycel? Why should we bother? Why should we care about it as a formulator? Any answer? Let us say you don't want to use a large amount of surfactant, but still you want to have a desirable level of viscosity. How do you get it? By forming other kind of structure. Okay, so you can add some other component, and then mycel starts growing, and then this is how you can control the rheology of the system by doing nothing. Okay, so my colleagues, they work on very complicated systems, which I hate. Right, I work on very simple system. I need just water. Okay, water, and then you can play with assemblies. So we have shown that we can form spherical mycel. We have shown that we can form all these kind of structure. This is what I have been doing in past, more than 10 years. Next slide, please. So we have studied surfactants. Surfactants have got small head, and the tail is relatively longer. Right now, because of this, surfactant head never moves. Right, हमेशा कथकली एक डांस होता है, डांस फॉर्म है, ये हमेशा मुश्किल है. क्यों? क्योंकि you might have seen people dancing, and then they try to move this part as well, which is very difficult. Right, extremities को जो आप लोग शादियों में डांस करते हो वो हमेशा इजी होता है. क्यों? क्योंकि extremities को आराम से आप you can dangle, you can, yeah. So surfactants, when you add them in water, they just dance. Okay, and then when they reach to a certain level कि नहीं भाई बहुत हो गया, then they form the association structure that we play with. Right, so now you can strengthen the head. There is a tail already. Now you can add a head which is significantly larger, so it becomes a die-block system. Right, you have the head portion which has been elongated. So what do? You replace the head with a polymer. So there are two components, A and B. So you can form die-block copolymer. Again, you can play with the molecular weight. You can see the effect of changes in the molecular weight. M1 represents hydrophobic block. M2 represents hydrophilic block. In surfactants, what did we have? We had hydrophilic head and hydrophobic tail. Over here, both are elongated system. And again, depending upon the relative size, relative molecular weight of each block, they can form different assemblies, right? So depending if if the hydrophobic part is shorter, then you are going to get coarser structure. If this is similar, if they have got equal molecular weight, then you are going to get the cylinder. Otherwise, you are going to get a planar bilayer. Okay, next. So we have seen die-block copolymers. In die-block copolymer, what you have? There was a tail, and then you have added a head group as well. There are two blocks. Now there is a possibility of adding more than two blocks. So here, what do? You can form ABA type of system. Fluoronics, they are ABA type of system. You have hydrophilic part PEO, you have hydrophobic part PPO, and then PEO. So PEO, PPO, and PEO, they form again different kind of assemblies. Again, you can see. So and this makes them temperature sensitive. Polyethylene oxide group is always polyethylene oxide, मतलब polyethylene glycol. PG सुना होगा ना? PG. So this is PEG, PPG, PEG, right? So PEG is hydrophilic, PPG is hydrophobic, and then PEG is, since PEG is thermosensitive, you get thermosensitive assemblies, right? So you can play with the temperature to form different kind of assemblies. So you start with unimer, ABA type, and then you change temperature, they form pre-micelle, pre-association structures, and then it turns into full micelle, core shell micelle, and then you can play with the temperature to trigger hydration, and then you get spherical portion assemblies. Again, you can tailor the conditions. You can form micelles, you can form reverse micelle. In this case as well, you can form polymer zones. Those who are doing MPharm, maybe they might have studied in their coursework polymer zones. You can form lamella as well, and then other elongated structures. Next. So you talk about surfactant, you talk about diglyocopolymer, you talk about triglycopolymer. These are epiphiles, right? And then there are certain parameters when you talk about the epiphile. You need to look up to their CMC, critical micelle concentration. You have to see their aggregation number. How many monomers are aggregating to form the assemblies? That is always an important parameter, right? And again, this can be tailored. You can add some drug to reduce the number. Then size and shape. What is the size that you want? What is the shape that you want? Do you want change in shape depending upon the condition? That's how you control the rheological property. Then in case of our systems, they are always based on non-anic polymers. Okay, and whenever you talk about regulatory, status of any non-anic polymer for injectable applications, it is always PEG. It is always polyethylene oxide. So majority of the polymers, copolymers, they are based on polyethylene oxide, PEG, polyethylene glycol. So they will have cloud point, meaning the solution may remain clear at a certain temperature, and beyond that temperature, it shows clouding. Okay, so there are chances of formation of multi-phasic structures. Then you see its HLB, you see adsorbed area per molecule for the cases wherein you are using the surfactant to stabilize any structure. Then the dynamics, how stable micelles are. Okay, how much resistance do they have against the dilution? How much time I got? How much time? Just let me know. Okay? So and then it is possible to control the phases. Okay, one phase can be converted into a second phase. The second phase can be reversed back to its original phase. This is quite possible, and we have been doing this. Then all these properties are used to in context to their biological applications, injectable applications. किसी भी formulation को आपको inject करना है, so it has to be fluid enough. Okay. Now, when you inject a formulation and you want the delivery at a particular site, okay, so एक जो free flowing formulation है, कभी भी आपको larger residence time आपको नहीं देगी. If you talk about higher residence time, you need to have some phase conversion. So there is a liquid formulation, fully injectable. You inject, okay, and then let us say it goes inside as a result of change in temperature, as a result of shift in pH or some other condition, it converts into a gel. Right? What is happening? There was phase conversion. Right? So this is exploited for having right biological application, and this is what we have demonstrated. Next. So yes, they can be used as vectors, and this is nothing new. We know about such assemblies. Such assemblies do exist in our system. Our cell membrane. क्या है nature of cell membrane का? What do we have in our cell membrane? We have phospholipid, we have protein, signaling protein. What else do we have? What else do we have? We have tunneling protein, we have peripheral protein, we have integral protein, right? So this is all phospholipid, right? In association with the cholesterol. So all these assemblies are very much known to us. We are doing nothing, very groundbreaking. Then there are surfactants which assist in our digestive process. What are those agents? Bile salts. We have bile salts in our system. Then we need surfactant. When our lungs do they lose the surfactant, there is no way we can expel. There are number of things that we inhale, right? Now, those things, those stuffs, they have to be exhaled. If we don't have surfactant, we don't have any mechanism for the propulsion of upward propulsion of such foreign structures. So these are very much known to us, and then we are forming artificial assemblies to have biological applications to deliver the drug to the right site. Next. So yes, you have the mycel, you have the polymersome, you have the liposome, right? Now the question is, do they offer you enough of the residence time? Obviously not. The answer is no, right? So it is possible to incorporate those structures into maybe hydrogel. You can trap those structures into the hydrogel bed, right? So you have two barriers over here. You are creating two barriers. There is hydrogel. The hydrogel will erode, and as a result of this, your carriers which are embedded, they will be exposed. Now your drug is loaded inside the carrier, so that is that from the second barrier. So your carrier explodes, and then or there is a diffusion mechanism through which your drug is released from the carrier. So these tactics can be used to extend the overall residence time of the formulation. Next. And these are based on the association between the hydrogen, between the polymer and the carrier. This can be based on electrostatic interactions. You have the charged polymer, you have the charged carrier, phospholipids. Okay, they have got the charge, right? So you can add counter ions, right? And then this will lead to formation of stronger association, electrostatic association. Then there can be host interaction. Polymer has got some host group, so it will engage with your surfactant assembly, or this can be simple hydrophobic association. So these are different mechanisms which can be exploited to have the stronger association. Next. Now we'll not go into much details on enthalpy and entropy. Okay. So until now, we talked about the binary association. You have block of polymer, you have surfactant, you have tri-block of polymer. Okay, one phase and the other phase was water. Right? There is a possibility of formulating other kind of dispersions by adding ternary systems or making pseudo-ternary system, and which is the point of this talk, this lecture. So this can be used to create microemulsions. So I'll be talking I will be focusing much upon the microemulsions. These are either ternary system, or in majority of times they are pseudo-ternary system, meaning there are more than 3 components. So the reason of our interest in such system is these are thermodynamically stable. There are two kind of stabilities when you talk about the dispersion, stability of the dispersions. This can be thermodynamic, this can be kinetic, right? So classically, whenever you have to stabilize the system, how many of you have heard about DLBO theory? DLBO theory? 3rd year, 4th year? DLBO theory nahi padhi hai? Okay. So you have primary minima, you have secondary minima, you create energy barrier. Okay? If the energy barrier is high enough, the formulation remains stable. If this energy barrier is reached, it reaches to primary minima, and then you have complete association structure which cannot be redispersed. उसको आप वापस से redisperse नहीं कर सकते permanently. That kind of stability is permanent. So kinetic stability relies on creation of energy barrier. Thermodynamic stability, it comes from within, right? Surfactants you add in water, block of polymers add in water, and then they keep diffusing. Okay, this is because of entropic factors, right? So because of this entropy, the system loses energy and then it becomes stable. Okay, so we use relatively high concentration of surfactants, and this makes the system thermodynamically stable. then these are formed spontaneously. You have to do nothing. Okay, you have surfactant mixture, you have oil mix, titrated water, and then these are formed spontaneously. आपको कोई भी energy requirement नहीं है. Nano particle formation में you have to use very high energy methods. You use top down method, you use bottom up method, but there will always be requirement of energy. Then these are, majority of times these are homogeneous. They remain stable, they are always homogeneous, or sometimes these can be quasi homogeneous. There are chances of formation of other kind of structures as well. Then they have got rich phase behavior. Matlab, these are free flowing structures, optically clear, but it is possible to convert them into other forms, other kind of dispersions, long standing formulations. This is possible to formulate. Then they allow superior absorption because their size is, see, 20 to 200 nanometer, even less than, I mean, majority of times you will see that their size lies in between 20 to 50 nanometer. So they offer you superior absorption. So this is the beauty of these formulations. Next. Yes. So we talk about HLB value. The next parameter, whenever we have in our mind certain specific structure, we have to explain this in terms of its critical packing parameter. Critical packing parameter of the surfactant. It is the surfactant which is at the interface, and this governs the entire morphology. Right. So you add the water, you add oil, and then it forms an interface. It never dissolves. You add surfactant, and then it causes solubilization of the oil into water or other things. Right. So it is happening because of presence of surfactant. Right. So it is the surfactant which is actually bringing out the change in the critical packing parameter. And again, when you focus on certain specific morphology, you have to think about the type of surfactant, right? So if there is a surfactant with a strong head, okay, with a big head and a tail, long tail, obviously this appears to be of a cone, right? Now cones can be arranged to form a curvature. It is always easier. आपके पास आइसक्रीम कोन्स होते हैं, उनको लेके आप आराम से एक enclosed structure बना सकते हो, spherical structure बना सकते हो. But this is not possible with bricks. Bricks से आपको enclosed structure बनानी है. This is not possible. So if you have a surfactant wherein head and tail, these are equivalent. They have got equal molecular size. They will form a kind of brick structure, and there is no way you can form the enclosed assembly. कभी भी आप उसकी vesicle नहीं बना सकते. Okay. Similarly, there are certain surfactants which form truncated cones. Okay. There is an ice cream, okay, cone, and then you cut from here. It becomes a truncated cone. So they will form, a cylindrical kind of assembly. So whenever you are talking about any particular morphology, you have to look up to the structure of the surfactant. What is the weight of hydrophobic group? What is the weight of hydrophilic group? Accordingly, so critical packing parameter. This is the formula. Very simple formula. So if it is less than 1/3, you are going to be mycin. Okay. And in other cases, if it is 1, then you are going to get if you have the brick-like structure, obviously you are going to get a lamella, always lamella. Okay. Next. So this is a very good study published in Language. So here, what are they doing? This is the case of phospholipid, because you have one head and then two tails are connected to it. There is bi-acyl chain associated with the head. This is the classical case of phospholipids, right? So now, when you add phospholipid in water, you can form lamella, and at a later stage they form the vesicle. Our cell membrane is vesicle. How much? Okay, so now usually they form the enclosed structure, but you can add additive. So in this case, what they did, they added bile salt. Bile salts are their flat structure. Okay, ये जो 4-member ring है, and then they form the flat structure, and then there is OH group, right? So this makes it relatively hydrophilic, right? So it sits in the head, right? and then it causes expansion of the head. You can see there. Next. So you can see there, it goes there and then it sits there, and it causes, there were two heads and then it causes expansion, right? So the truncated cone converted into a brick kind of structure, and therefore it cannot form the structure. You have a, right. Now coming to the formulation. So we have been formulating microemulsion with very simple approach. Like say, there is nothing complicated in the formulation. You have to pick the right oil, you have to pick the right surfactant, you have to pick the right co-surfactant, and then that's it. Okay, you have the oil phase. If the surfactant goes well in oil phase, you add there. If it goes well with water, you add in water phase, and then you can simple do water titration, and then it is possible to have microemulsion with a spherical structure, or you can play with the other incorporation of other additives to form the lamellar kind of structure, and we have shown this. Next. Now, next. Okay, so there is a rule, Bancroft rule, Physical Pharmacy by Martin. Okay, this is the book which I still refer, और बहुत सारी PhD है जो इस सिर्फ एक चैप्टर के उसके डिस्पोजिशन वाले चैप्टर पे कराई जा सकती है. Okay, so there is a rule which says you need to add surfactant in which it is more soluble. If it is soluble in water, you add in water. If it is soluble in oil, you add there. Next. Then you have to go for creation of pseudo-ternary phase diagram. There are three systems. You can create ternary phase diagram, or you can create pseudo-ternary phase diagram. So in ternary, on one vertex you have oil, then water, and then the surfactant. This is what we do. Or you add some other component, it becomes pseudo-ternary. Then you can play with a number of variables to have the right structure. Next. Obviously, we are going to use surfactant co-surfactant mixture. So if the HLB of surfactant is not right now, not the right value, we are not getting the right value, you add co-surfactant and then bring it down to maybe lower or to a higher value. Next. Sometimes drugs can be acting as a co-surfactant. If there is a hydrophobic drug, okay, जितनी आप ये रेसिड्यूज हैं, उनको ऐड कर दो. Sometimes they can be used as a co-surfactant. आपको कहीं कुछ भी और ऐड करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Oil phase पे आपने अपने ड्रग को ऐड कर दिया, right? So they will also participate in the formation of the assemblies. Then you should be careful that whenever you are making a ternary system, there are multiple possibilities. There will be, mesophasic structures, right? So you have to use the right technique to delineate the right information, right? So there is a risk of having micelles, there is a risk of having swollen micelle, there is a risk of having lamella, there is a risk of having vascular structures, and then apart from surfactant assemblies, so you need to use the right method. Next. So yes, so these are the kind of structures which you may possibly have whenever you are talking about ternary or pseudo-ternary system. So you need to have the right analytical technique. Okay. So microemulsions, they are usually optically clear. So how do you test the optical clarity? सबके पास UV होगा. Okay. तो क्या करेंगे? We'll have the transmittance. If the value of transmittance is more than 95%, this shows that your formulation is optically clear. Okay. Then you have to see what is the kind of, what are the kind of phases, oil in water, water into oil. You can see to conductivity. There are other simple tests that you can do, right? Similarly, for size, you can go for scattering technique. You can go for dynamic light scattering. We use small angle X-ray scattering. There are multiple techniques, and then ultimately you go for biological evaluation. Next slide, please. Next. Okay. So now I am at the content of the talk, and then I have got just 2 minutes to complete my talk. Right. So what we did, we will not go into the data. Okay, data always boring for second year, third year students. So I'll not go into the detail of the data. I'll just talk about the kind of formulation that we did. So we used very simple approach. We wanted a formula. You might have studied about inflammatory bowel disease, ulcerative colitis. Have you heard? Pathophysiology में पढ़ा होगा ना? हाँ, ulcerative colitis. क्या problem है? It is progressive in nature. There is no treatment. such, the treatment is symptomatic. You get symptomatic relief. And what are the kind of formulations? Tablets and baki conventional formulations, and then there are enemas. Okay, and majority of the cases the patient has to visit the hospital. Okay, वहाँ आपको nurse enema देगी या जो attendant होगा enema देगा, and then the residence type of enema is, it is too low. Now there are phones, but again it is very inconvenient, right? So we wanted to have a formulation which upon intrarectal delivery, which can be delivered through intrarectal route, meaning it has to be fluid enough, and then when it finds water, colon में water बहुत कम होता है. It is in few ml. So when it finds water, wherever it finds water, it converts into a gel. So classically लोग क्या करते हैं? They will use enzymes, triggers, they will use temperature trigger, and then other stuff to have the phase transformation. Our approach was very simple कि हमने उसको deliver किया, intrarectally हमने deliver किया. Okay, it finds water, very little water, and then it converts into a gel. And this gel stands there for a long period of time. We found that it mixes very well with the mucus which is there. It mixes, and then it forms a long-standing film over there, and therefore this as a result of this, you improve the condition of the. So this is what we have shown in the animal model. We will not go into the detail of the data. Right? Can you please go to the final slide? So this is the data. And if someone is interested, maybe you can talk one-to-one during lunch. Yeah, this one. Yes. So मैं सिर्फ बातें करता हूँ, जहाँ भी जाता हूँ मैं सिर्फ बातें करता हूँ. मेरे लिए कुछ लोग हैं जो काम करते हैं, बहुत सिंसियरली काम करते हैं. जो डेटा आप देख रहे हैं ये सब इनके हैं, और ये सब आप जैसे हैं. आप में से कोई बीकॉम कर रहा होगा और वो आ गया, आप में से कोई एमकॉम कर रहा होगा और उसने डिसाइड किया कि उसको पीएचडी करना नाइपर से करना है, तो उसने मुझे ज्वाइन कर लिया. एंड देन दे होल्ड द पेपर राइट. ओके, एंड दैट इज द रीजन वी गेट द डेटा. So these are our people with whom I started this work: Sakshi, Rohit, Nutan, Karan, and finally Kamal. So I should be thanking these people, and then we collaborate with some people for some specific experiment. Dr. Praveen, who is my colleague from Naiper Library. Then Dr. Devasis, he works at BARC, and he gets our SARS experiments done. This work was funded by Borischer Ingelheim, and then our students, they get fellowship from the Department of Pharmaceuticals. So with this, thank you very much. If there are any questions and you are hesitant not to ask over here, maybe you can talk to me during lunchtime. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for speaking in national and thought-provoking lecture. Your insights have enriched our understanding and inspired all participants. On the behalf of organizing committee and all delegates, we extend our sincere gratitude for your valuable time and scholarly contribution. Thank you once again.
We now open the floor for questions. Participants are requested to introduce themselves briefly before asking a concise question.
And please don't ask tough questions, okay? क्या भाई सिंपल क्वेश्चन भी आप लोग नहीं आते? मैंने कहा ना टफ क्वेश्चन में डर लगता है.
Don't worry, there are no marks for asking questions.
Now, if you don't ask, I'll ask. Okay, then I did my job well. Thank you.
As a token of our sincere appreciation for the enlightening lecture, I request Dr. Tarkeshwar Prasad Shukla sir to kindly come forward and present the certificate of appreciation to our esteemed keynote speaker, Dr. Sanjay Tiwari sir. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause, please. Thank you, sir. हमारी बहुत सुंदर परंपरा है अतिथि देवो भव, जिसको निभाते हुए अब मैं अपने प्रिंसिपल सर से आग्रह करना चाहूंगी कि वो हमारे चीफ गेस्ट मिस्टर प्रमोद कुमार त्रिपाठी सर को पुष्पगुच्छ देकर अनुग्रहित।
हम सीपीएम ग्रुप को बहुत सारा शुभकामनाएं, आभार और धन्यवाद। ऐसे सेमिनार कंडक्ट करने के लिए सर ने हमको 2 दिन पहले क्या बताया। आज पीसीआई दिल्ली में मीटिंग थी, लेकिन कुछ कारणवश हम जा नहीं सके। तब से मैंने बोला कि जरूर हम टाइम निकाल के और बहुत अच्छा लगा, क्योंकि ये सीपीएम कॉलेज का रजिस्ट्रेशन और ये सारी चीजें आते हैं, बच्चे भी हमसे मिलते रहते हैं। क्वालिटी बहुत अच्छी है। कुछ भी अगर हम उनसे पूछते हैं जब रजिस्ट्रेशन करते हैं तो मेरी आदत है, जैसे पश्चिम के जो कॉलेज हैं उनमें वो गुणवत्ता नहीं है जितनी होनी चाहिए। बहुत से डिप्लोमा के बच्चे होते हैं जिनको सब्जेक्ट भी शायद नहीं पता, पूछते हैं तो रजिस्ट्रेशन में 2 4 5 कोई 10 भी बता देता है, फर्स्ट ईयर में 10। सीपीएम कॉलेज का जो है गुणवत्ता वो ठीक ठाक है और इससे हम लोग सेटिस्फाइड भी हैं कि अच्छी पढ़ाई होती है। और सेमिनार करने का मतलब जो आज हो रहा है, इसका मतलब है कुछ हम सीख के जाएं। जितने लोग आए हैं बताने वाले, समझाने वाले, नई नई चीजें आपको बता रहे हैं, तो सीखें, समझें और अडॉप्ट करें। खाली सुनने से काम नहीं चलेगा। जब आप बैचलर डिग्री मास्टर ले रहे हो तो उसका एक अलग अंदाज होता है और आपको कुछ जिम्मेदारियां भी लेनी चाहिए कि कुछ नई चीजें हम करके दें समाज के लिए। मास्टर का तो यही मतलब होता है। डिप्लोमा का प्रैक्टिस है फार्मेसी हो गया, लेकिन बैचलर मास्टर तो हम लोग अहम मानते हैं कि ये सब कुछ जानते हैं और उम्मीद भी करते हैं नई टेक्नोलॉजी, नई चीजें आप रिसर्च मॉलिक्यूल्स और ये डेवलप करके लाएंगे। तो अगर ऐसे विद्यार्थी या सीपीएम से और निकले, हम भी गौरवान्वित होंगे। हमारे मंडल का एक अच्छा कार्य डॉक्टर पांडे साहब का बहुत नाम, हम लोग तो काफी छोटे छोटे थे, अपना नाम गोंडा में पैदा किया, पर्सनालिटी है, और कॉलेज भी बहुत अच्छा चल रहा है। तो आप लोगों से यही गुजारिश है कि अच्छे से पढ़ाई करिए, अच्छी चीजें सीखिए। और शुक्ला जी में नो डाउट अच्छी पर्सनालिटी है, सारी चीजें पीएचडी है, तो कोई डाउट नहीं है कि शुक्ला जी बढ़िया से हैंडल करें। आभार, धन्यवाद। अच्छी चीजें सुनिए, सीखिए और करिए, ताकि अपने गुणा का भी नाम अच्छे से कहीं आए।
सर के इस अप्रिसिएशन के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। कुछ क्वालिटी जरूर सर ने देखी होगी। वैसे ये अप्रिसिएशन मेरा अकेले का नहीं है, गोंडा रीजन और इधर की बात की है तो मेरे साथ और भी तमाम कॉलेजेस के प्रिंसिपल जुड़े हुए हैं। सभी को मैं ये अप्रिसिएशन साथ में शेयर करने के लिए दे रहा हूँ। सर ऐसा बोल रहे हैं कि गोंडा रीजन और हमारे आसपास के जो भी इधर के हैं, मीस पूर्वांचल हमारा पूरा काफी अच्छा कर रहा है, हमारे स्टूडेंट्स बहुत अच्छे हैं। थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
May I now invite Dr. Jiten Kumar Sir, HOD, Ma Sharda College of Pharmacy, Ayodhya, to kindly come up on the stage. I request Dr. Chirag Singh Sir to present a token of our appreciation. A warm round of applause, please. Thank you, sir. May I now invite Dr. Prashant Singh, sir, our advisory board member from Buddha Institute of Pharmacy, Gorakhpur, to kindly come up on the stage. I request Dr. Ashish Kumar Mishra, sir, to present a token of our appreciation. A warm round of applause, please. Thank you, sir. May I now invite Mr. Sujit Tiwari, sir, from BMG College of Pharmacy, Ayodhya, to kindly come up on the stage. I request Mr. Sujit Pratap Singh, sir, to present a token of our appreciation.
Scientific collaboration today transcends geographical boundaries. We now move forward from our on-campus keynote sessions to an international online session featuring distinguished speakers from abroad.
Before connecting our international speaker, we request everyone to kindly remain be seated. Our technical team establishes the online connection very shortly.
Online speaker, may I request Mr. Malik sir from Destination Holidays to kindly come up on the stage. And to do the honor, I request Mr. Ashish Pratap Singh sir to kindly present a token of our appreciation.
तो मिस्टर मलिक जी इज आवर ट्रैवल पार्टनर और पिछले 3 4 5 सालों से जितनी भी हमारी बुकिंग्स हैं सब सर के साथ ही रहती हैं। बीकॉम 8 सेमेस्टर के जो भी स्टूडेंट्स इंडस्ट्रीज के लिए उनके विजिट के लिए इंडस्ट्री ट्रेनिंग के लिए जाते हैं उसमें सर का बहुत ज्यादा योगदान रहता है, बहुत हेल्पफुल रहते हैं हमारे लिए। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर मलिक जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद यहाँ जी।
Now, as the connection has established, it is my great pleasure to introduce our next distinguished speaker, Dr. Naushad Mohammed sir. He is currently serving as an instructor in the Department of Radiation Oncology at Washington University School of Medicine, St. Louis, United States of America. He holds a PhD in biotechnology with specialization in cancer biology and has dedicated his career to advancing cancer research, particularly in radiation oncology, cervical cancer, tumor metabolism, and targeted therapies. With an impressive research portfolio of numerous peer-reviewed publications, international conference presentations, and prestigious research grants, he has made significant contribution to the global scientific community. He also serves as an associate editor and editorial board member for several renowned international journals, reflecting his commitment to scientific excellence. Today, we are privileged to have him with us to share his valuable insights and expertise. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a warm round of applause as we welcome Dr. Naushad Mohammed sir to deliver his keynote address. Everyone, Naushad sir, you can proceed now. Naushad sir, sir, you are not audible.
International virtual session occasionally require a few additional moments. Please be patient. Our technical team is completes the online connection very shortly.
Can you hear me?
Now you are audible, sir. Now you are audible.
Okay, just a one. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think that technical difficulty with my laptop, but I'm connecting with my laptop for this with the slide and my phone with the Wi. That's fine.
Yes, sir. It's fine. Absolutely fine.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you very much for inviting me for this wonderful conference.
So before you begin, let me introduce you.
Dr. Sarfraz and all the organizers for this opportunity. And just to introduce myself, as somebody told me about, my name is Nausha, and I'm an instructor in Department of Radiation Oncology, School of Medicine, Washington University in St. Louis. So basically, what WashU, in short, it is a very renowned medical school in USA. I think the medical school is six all around the world. So I started my journey as a postdoc in WashU, from postdoc to staff scientist to senior scientist too. Now currently I am working as an instructor. Today I'm talking about my project, inductive fatty acid as a radiosensitizer in cervical cancer, targeting metabolic pathway to enhance therapeutic efficacy. So just to introduce about yeah, so basically in our lab we are working on cervical cancer, and cervical cancer remains one of the leading cause of cancer-related death among women worldwide, despite advances in HPV vaccination and screening. And approximately 40,000 new cases are diagnosed annually in the United States, and many more throughout the world, with many patients presenting with locally advanced disease. And for the cervical cancer, we have concurrent chemotherapy and radiation as a standard regimen for treatment of this type of cancer. However, a significant proportion of the patients develop treatment resistant and disease reoccurrence. And due to this reoccurrence, cervical cancer has limited therapeutic options and associated with poor survival outcomes. So therefore, we are trying to identify how novel strategies to enhance radio sensitivity and prevent recurrence remain a major clinical challenge. So as I told you, we are working on
cervical cancer. So previously we published this paper in Oncotarget in 2018, clinical outcomes and differential effect of PI3K pathway mutation in obese versus non-obese patient with cervical cancer. So basically, in this publication, we observed that patient with obesity at the time of diagnosis of cervical cancer exhibit improved outcome after radiation. And the molecular mechanism associated with this disease is high expression of phosphorylated AKT was associated with poor outcome only in non-obese patients. So basically we are working on how obesity is related with cancer, particularly cervical cancer. So as we know, cancer cells frequently exhibit always fatty metabolism to sustain growth and proliferation. And studies found that tumor cells generate mostly all their cellular fatty acids through de novo fatty acid synthesis. If plenty of fatty acids are present, cancer cells prefer to take up lipids or fatty acids from the extracellular environment directly rather than synthesize de novo. So in case of obesity, we have free fatty acids, and due to this free fatty acids, which we have dyslipidemia, insulin resistance, and cancer. And now I will talk about briefly different kind of fatty acids. So fatty acids are two types: saturated fatty acids and unsaturated fatty. Saturated fatty acids are lauric acid, malic acid, and palmitic acid. But in case of unsaturated fatty acid, there are two types: monounsaturated fatty acid and polyunsaturated. So the classical example of monounsaturated fatty acids are oleic acid, and polyunsaturated again divided into omega-6 fatty acids or omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-6 fatty acids usually like linoleic acid and arachidonic acid, and omega-3 fatty acids are EPA and DH, which are very beneficial for our health. But omega-6 they are like present in foods. So so based on this previous information, we want to see how these fatty acids play an important role in cervical cancer. So for that, basically we are working on cervical cancer cervical cancer model. In cervical cancer, basically we have different kinds of cervical cancer cell lines to see in the laboratory setup, like in the battery plate. So we have like panel of cervical cancer cell line. Here we are using total 8 cervical cancer cell line, like CH, TASP, ME180, and 0756. So these cells are P53 wild type or as well as HPV positive. And we also have C33A and HPV. They are P53 mutant and HPV negative. So basically, P53 is a tumor suppressor gene present in tumor cells. If we hit the radiation or any kind of therapy, due to that therapy, this P53 is upregulated and it suppresses the tumor. So to prove our hypothesis, we examine the role of obesity associated factors such as fatty acids. So for that, we treated a panel of cervical cancer cell line, as I told you, with the adipocyte condition media. So what is adipocyte condition media? Basically, we culture the adipocyte in the culture and we collected that media and we treated that media to the and very interestingly, we found that only P53 wild type and HPV positive cells, they are highly sensitive towards radiation when we combine condition media. But we were very surprised that P33A and SP3 they are not at much radio sensitizer compared to these 4 cell lines. Then Next, we perform some another experiment to see what are those factors. So we use lipid mixture. So basically, lipid mixture is commercially available mixture, and we treated again these cells with lipid mixture. We use different concentration, but here I am just showing two concentration rates like 2.5% to 5%. And again, Siha and Kaspi, they are really highly radio sensitizer towards lipid mixture. Then, so in this lipid mixture, we have different kind of now to rule out what are the how these fatty acids are sensitizing towards these cervical cancer cells. So here we use two fatty acids initially, oleic acid, which is a mono unsaturated fatty acid, and linoleic acid, which is a diunsaturated fatty acid. And we perform some cell viability assay like LMR blue, and again, not only the oleic acid but also linoleic acid reduce sensitize these cells. And to confirm this experiment, we perform colony formation assay. So just to briefly introduce about the colony formation assay. Colony formation assay is the gold standard in the radiation of biology. Basically, after treatment of the cells, after like we have 24 or 48-hour treatment, then we reseed these cells like 100 cells per well in 6 well or 10 centimeter well. And we keep these cells for 10 to 15 days to make the column. And very interestingly, oleic acid as well as linoleic acid, they radio sensitize very nicely. So to reconfirm this experiment, in another cell line like HT3, as I told you, HT3 are P53 mutant and HPV negative, and we observe that not only HT3 but also C33 cells, they are not at that much radio sensitized. And so up to this point, I was talking about like cancer cells. Now, I want to check whether this is cancer specific phenomena or this is not. So we use two normal cell lines because in the cancer biology, we always need to use normal cell lines to see whether this is toxic to the normal cell. So here we use N1 as well as N1. They are the normal cell lines. And very interestingly, oleic acid as well as linoleic acid, they are not radio sensitized towards this normal cell line. It means whatever phenomena we are seeing, this is cancer specific. Next, so to confirm this experiment, we perform some Western blot analysis. I hope our college students know what is Western blot analysis. Basically, Western blot analysis is to check the expression of proteins. So here we use PARP, which is a classical apoptosis marker. And very interestingly, here you can see oleic acid together with radiation nicely cleave the PARP in both the cell line CIHA and CASP when we use oleic acid as well as linoleic acid. Then we confirm this experiment by using flow cytometry. And here you can see this is the percentage of apoptotic cells, means dead cells. So here, where oleic acid alone, a little bit cell death we are getting, but when we combine oleic acid with radiation, there's a lot of apoptotic cells. Then we want to confirm with another set of experiments. So here we use cell cycle analysis, and we observe that the combined treatment of oleic acid with radiation enhances G2M phase. Then, so now I'm talking about how this oleic acid or fatty acid theory is work. So as I told you in the past, we we check the expression of P53, which is a tumor suppressor. So when is any therapy is working, so it means this P53 should be upregulated. Not only the basal form, but it's also phosphorylated form. So here you can see olic acid together with radiation, there is a significant upregulation of not only P53 but also phosphorylated form. It means this therapy is working. Then we want to check whether if we will knock down P53, we basically we want to rescue the effect. And very interestingly, we found that olic acid together with radiation, there is less cell viability, but when we use P53 siRNA, the cell viability is going up. We reconfirm this experiment by using alpha, which is the pharmacological inhibitor of P53, and we are seeing the same effect. And previously, this is one paper in PNA, which is very reputed journal. In this publication, Khandekar et al. Demonstrating that DNA damaging agent like chemotherapy upregulates the phosphorylated form of PPR gamma. This phosphorylated form of PPR gamma binds with P53 and causes DNA damage response, and that is why the cancer cells survive. But when they block the PPR gamma, there is no DNA damage response and cell death. Then I will talk about a little bit about the ligand of PPR gamma. So there are two kinds of PPR gamma ligand, like natural ligand, like unsaturated fatty acid and prostaglandin. And there are some synthetic ligands also, like rosinglutazone and pegloticase. And studies have suggested that ligand activated PPR gamma transactivate P53 and it targets P21. So we check not only the phosphorylated PPR gamma but also the basal form of PPR gamma. And we found that phosphorylated form of PPR gamma is downregulated, but its basal form is upregulated. It means therapy is working. And we confirm this experiment with a confocal microscopy. Basically, confocal microscopy is we are seeing that protein into the cell with the visual eye. So here you can see olic acid together with radiation, there is more staining. It means there is more PPR gamma. And to reconfirm this, we use two approaches like PPR gamma siRNA as well as pharmacological inhibitor of PPR gamma. And we found that olic acid together with radiation decrease the cell viability, but when we use PPR gamma siRNA or its pharmacological inhibitor, we are seeing the rescue. Then we perform some more experiments like RNA sequencing analysis, and we observe that there is significant upregulation of some protein like CD36, which is a fatty acid transporter, and some other proteins. So, how fatty acid is working in our model? Basically, fatty acids are taken up by the CD36 protein, and due to that, they activate PPR gamma signal. And PPR gamma stimulates expression of CD36, a cell surface receptor that imports fatty acids. Then we confirm the expression of CD36 in our model, and we found that radiation dependent overexpression of CD36 in both the cell lines. This is the protein level as well as, and we also check with the qPCR, means mRNA level. Then to confirm this experiment, we performed a very beautiful experiment by using confocal microscopy to check whether fatty acids or radiation alone enhances the fatty acid uptake. And here you can see olic acid together with radiation, there is more uptake. And this fatty acid basically making a very nice lipid drop. And furthermore, we inhibit the CD36 and we are seeing the reverse phenomena. It means all the all these signaling are interconnected. If we are hitting just one point, it means they are going all through their pathway. Okay, I get it, yeah. So finally, yeah. So whatever we experiment we are doing, now to confirm whether this whether our in vitro observation with unsaturated fatty acids could verify in vivo also. So we use Siha cell line and we injected this Siha cell line in the tube pipe, and this is the layout of our experiment. And very interestingly, when we injected folic acid together with radiation, the tumor size was really small. It means our therapy is good. Then, to confirm this experiment, we collected the tumor and made the light and run the Western blot analysis. And we found that folic acid together with radiation very nicely upregulate P53 as well as PTR gamma that we also observed in vitro. Then, to model the impact of obesity and diet fat on tumor response to radiation in cervical cancer, we generated diet-induced obesity obese mice in C50 black mice model. So basically, we feed black mice with 16 weeks with normal diet as well as high fat diet. And here you can see normal diet versus high fat diet. Then we injected another cell line that is TC1, and when we hit the radiation, high fat very nicely radiation sensitizing the, and this is some confocal images. So basically, I would like to conclude my talk. So the conclusion and the conclusion, in case of adipose obesity, there is more fat, free fatty acid available. These fatty acids uptake wider CD36 because when we hit the radiation, this CD36 also uptake. This fatty acid bind with PTR gamma and activates CD36 and P50. P53 gets phosphorylated and ultimately causes cell. And we published this paper in Cancer Research, and the impact factor of the cancer is, I think, 16 or 17. And I was the first author of this paper, and I'm continuing this project in different direction also, basically. And the future direction of our project, basically, we are trying to develop smart or handling lipid nanocarrier because this conference is related with the nanocarrier. So we are thinking about how we can manipulate our things like nanocarrier for targeted delivery of therapeutic fatty acids to cervical cancer tumors, and we are also engineering radiation responsive nanocarrier that release fatty acids selectively within immediate tumor microenvironment. We also try to improve the stability, solubility, and tumor-specific accumulation of unsaturated fatty acids using nanoparticle-based therapy. And ultimately, we want to translate fatty acid-based metabolic therapy into clinically applicable nanomedicine platform in cervical cancer as well as another cancer model. And this is my acknowledge. So I would like to acknowledge my lab member, my mentor, and all the other supporting staff from our department and division. And this is our group. So basically, this is my mentor, and all these are the working staff from our lab, and they are from different countries. I'm only from the India, one from China, one from Turkey, one from Brazil, one from Tanzania, and that's it. Thank you. Hello.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful and inspiring presentation. Despite the challenges, your ideas have reached every participant in our auditorium. On behalf of SCPM College of Pharmacy and the organizing committee, we sincerely thank you for your valuable contribution. Hello. Am I audible, sir? So we now invite questions from the audience. Kindly introduce yourself briefly before asking your question.
Yeah, if somebody have any question, please don't hesitate to ask, because that is why this conference is.
Anyone? Okay, sir, once again, thank you so much for joining us. So meanwhile, there are no questions asked. Let me introduce you.
Yeah, and one more thing. If you would like to connect with me, if you have any career related questions, how to get PhD from India to US, you guys can connect me in the LinkedIn, Facebook. My name is Naushad Mohammed. I will be more than happy to help you for your college or for my community back in India. Thank you.
He is currently serving as an instructor in the Department of Radiation Oncology at Washington University School of Medicine, St. Louis, United States of America. So now we are proceeding for the next session. Once again, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
We now invite our students to present the cultural dance. May I request everyone to encourage them with a big round of applause.
बाहर है क्या? बाहर है क्या? ठीक है, तो बस इसका नाम तो प्रभात का नाम था, इसका नाम लेना पड़ता था। बाहर आ गया है। कितने लोग बाहर देख रहे हो? बाहर है को बुला लो, अंदर आए तो फिर बता देरी है फंडिंग कहाँ बाहर कुछ खेल रहे थे क्या कर रहे थे बाहर क्या कर रहे थे बाहर
Every meaningful journey has its own moment of pause, and every pause offers an opportunity for reflection. Allow me to share a few inspiring lines. This is a poem by रामधारी सिंह दिनकर। सच है विपत्ति जब आती है, सच है विपत्ति जब आती है, कायर को ही दहलाती है। शूरमा नहीं विचलित होते, क्षण एक नहीं धीरज खोते। विघ्नों को गले लगाते हैं, कांटों में राह बनाते हैं। मुख से न कभी उफ कहते हैं, संकट का चरण न कहते हैं। जो आ पड़ता सब सहते हैं, उद्योग निरत रहते हैं। इसका मतलब जो लोग हमेशा मेहनत और निरंतर प्रयास में लगे रहते हैं। शूलों का मूल नसाने को पर खुद विपत्ति पर छाने, मतलब कठिनाइयों और बाधाओं को जड़ से समाप्त करने के लिए। शूलों का मूल नसाने को और खुद विपत्ति पर छाने को, है कौन विघ्न ऐसा जग में टिक सके वीर नर के मत में। हम ठोक खेलता है जब नर, पर्वत के जाते पांव खड़। जब मनुष्य पूरी हिम्मत और दृढ़ निश्चय और आत्मविश्वास के साथ आगे बढ़ता है। हम ठोक फेंकता है जब नर, पर्वत के जाते पांव उखड़। मानो जब जोर लगाता है, पत्थर पानी बन जाता है। सच है विपत्ति जब आती है, कायर को ही दहलाती है। गुड़ बड़े एक से एक प्रखर, छिपे मानवों के भीतर। मेहंदी में जैसे लाली हो, बत्तिका बीच उजियाली हो। बत्ती जो नहीं जलाता है, रोशनी वह नहीं पाता है। पीसा जाता जब चूड़न, चूड़न मतलब गन्ना। पीसा जाता जब चूड़न, झरती रस की धारा अखंड। मेहंदी जब सहती है प्रहार, बनती ललनाओं का श्रृंगार। जब फूल पिरोए जाते हैं, हम उनको गले लगाते हैं। वसुधा का नेता कौन हुआ, खंड विजेता कौन हुआ। अतुलित यश क्रेता कौन हुआ, नवधर्म प्रणेता कौन हुआ। जिसने न कभी आराम किया, विघ्नों में रहकर नाम किया। जिसने न कभी आराम किया, विघ्नों में रहकर नाम किया। सच्चाई विपत्ति जब आती है, कायर को ही दहलाती है। धन्यवाद।
Once again, we now invite our students to present the cultural dance. May I request everyone to encourage them with a big round of applause.
आत्मसंगमय अवहिंसक
Thank you to our talented students for the wonderful performance. May I now respectfully invite Dr. Javed Akhtar Sir, Principal, Hakifullah Chaudhary College of Pharmacy, Gonda, to deliver his address.
A big round of applause, please.
Good afternoon to all of you. It's my privilege and honor to address the international conference ICONSCPM 2026. The topic is very innovative, self-healing nano carriers. Actually, earlier people are confused, those who are in B.Pharm first year, second year, either in final year. What is self-healing nano carrier? First of all, we must know the self-healing nano carrier is nothing but it is a nanoparticle, polymeric matrices, proteins, dendrimers. There are different types of carriers which are used for the novel drug delivery system. One thing sir has covered in this lecture, a very good informative lecture. It is based on the basic concept, how you stabilize a nanoparticle or as a used in a novel drug delivery system. The title is ulcerative colitis. One conventional dosage form a drug, I know, sulfasalazine, which are used in ulcerative colitis. Sulfasalazine move to colon, an enzyme which is responsible to break down the drug. An enzyme which is azoreductase enzyme, which break the drug into sulfa drug and salicylic acid. The patient feel very pain and some antibacterial activity due to presence of sulfa drug. There are conventional drugs which are available in the market also, but people don't know what are the new innovative drugs, new novel drugs which are available in the market. It is all the theoretical part. It is symptomatic relief if patient gets only. Now these days we are very advanced. There are different types of research work is going on, but unfortunately there is not a concrete treatment option for the ulcerative colitis, because only symptomatic treatment is available. And I also congratulate, and I'm going to suggest this conference is at least 2 days. We need some academic discussion here. There are very 1 or 2 lectures. We cannot achieve our academic excellence in this conference. So there are only 2 lectures, academic lectures. It may be in future, sir. I don't mind. It should be 2 days. So 1 day for complete academic work, and we will discuss our issues. Very good guests, all are together here, good together. Different types of college of principals are available. I am very thankful to management and organizing secretary, especially Shiv Kumar sir. Sarfraz is my junior in Jamia Hamdard. I am from Jamia Hamdard, and I hope the success of this conference. And thank you all. Thanks again.
Thank you, sir. May I now respectfully invite Mr. Sujit Tiwari, sir, owner of PMT College of Pharmacy, Ayodhya, to deliver his address. We request you to kindly address the gathering.
सबसे पहले तो आप जानिए, मैं सुजीत तिवारी, पीएमटी कॉलेज ऑफ फार्मेसी, अयोध्या। आप सबको देख के मन इतना खुश हुआ, इतना प्रसन्न हुआ, इस पूरी संस्था को देख के, इतनी प्रबंधकीय व्यवस्था देख के, पूरे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को देख के मन इतना प्रसन्न हुआ कि मैं कह नहीं सकता। बहुत मन आह्लादित है। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, आभार आप सभी। यहाँ जो उपस्थित छात्र हैं या और भी जो स्टाफ है, इन सबको देख के मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा। और अब इसी क्रम में जो आज ये कॉन्फ्रेंस हुआ, इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस है, बहुत ही हर्ष का विषय है कि आप जैसे ऐसे छोटे से शहर में इतनी बड़ी व्यवस्था अगर मिल रही है, तो आप सबको धन्यवाद देना चाहिए, इस प्रबंधकीय तंत्र को, इस शिक्षक व्यवस्था को, इस जो ऑर्गेनाइज व्यवस्था है उसको। अभी ये जो सेल्फ हीलिंग चल रही है, अभी बात हो रही थी सेल्फ हीलिंग की, तो सेल्फ हीलिंग कहना बहुत आसान है, समझना उतना ही कठिन है। अभी वो सर बता रहे थे, राम सिंह दिनकर की कविता है, आप लोग सुने, ध्यान से सुने, और हमें लगता है कि फिर से पढ़ना चाहिए आप। सुने कि नहीं सुने आप लोग? खूब सुने। हो जाएगा, लेकिन हो जाएगा। इसका उदाहरण एक छोटा सा हम बताते हैं आपको कि जैसे हम कोई काम करना चाहते हैं, मान लीजिए घर बनाना चाहते हैं, तो सबसे पहले हम उसके विषय में सोचते हैं कि मेरी डिजाइन क्या होगी, कैसे होंगे, कितने कमरे होंगे, कितनी जमीन है, इस जमीन को कैसे